tonight. We have a few discussions that are on. I wanted to know if anybody had any additional questions about the audit RFP. Yes. Budgetary transfers, there were several budgetary transfers, and they just went through the middle of May. So I'm not sure if anybody had any questions on any of those.
Hold on, I'm still in it, I guess.
They're all within their.
Well, some of them are not, so we have to move some things around to cover things outside of your function object, that's why they're up for board approval. Then the next, we have the printer digital press for graphics. That was up. So we have, that lease will be up in August, and that's here to kind of go over any questions on that. That's also on the agenda for approval between the three different.
Can I comment on something before we start? So we appreciate Mr. McClung and his graphics providing a wonderful resource to all the sending districts, the sporting teams. We've had some recent requests from the Rotary clubs, the high schools for their sports brochures. Recently, we had Mr. Former Senator Clymer come in. We're helping with the Memorial Day Parade, helping with veterans. And so I think everyone realizes it, but I think it's important to say how much we're a community-based school offering those services to all of the school districts, the nonprofits in the area. And I know, Mr. McClung, they appreciate your service, and as we do in the tech school.
So do we have a recommendation on which one you want to use?
In my viewpoint, the CAN proposal is the most beneficial to the program. It's a co-stars proposal. We worked out roughly over the term of the lease, roughly $10,000 cheaper than what we're currently paying. So
Sounds like a no-brainer. If it's what you want and it turns out to be cheaper than what we've been paying, I don't.
It's the same machine they have at Bethlehem Area Tech, and I actually got the initial recommendation from that guy. Any questions you have, I've been through all three of them. So happy to answer any questions.
Mr. McClung, your OAC also recommended it to.
Yeah, I discussed it with them. They were having all positive responses about that model.
Yeah.
So wishy-washy about the electronic fundamental tab. I don't have a big issue with the continental for the continental to have some supply problems, which is good. And the Xerox machine is just not the one, not the direction we want to go in.
Have you had any issues getting anything serviced or getting any parts around these times?
It came close with toner on the current machine is a continental. Let's hold my breath for a little while.
Yeah.
Because they have no toner.
And Mr. McClung, is it true there's a potential shortage of paper too?
That is not, there is definitely a paper shortage. It's like, yeah, it's one of the biggest shortages that we've had.
I think you can blame that one on the Quakertown School Board. They still like to print all of their agendas and packets out for us at meetings.
Yeah, well, printing on paper is good. It's just trying to buy it.
So the finance committee is okay with the recommendation to go to the 5-year.
It's a 60-month lease.
60 months.
Correct.
And that'll be on the agenda. You have to kind of fill that in as we go along. Then for the update on the oil pricing, there was the oil bid was open yesterday at the RU. We did get some pricing in. It's looking at it's going to be about $3.24. which is the open market, so I'm not quite sure what the differentials are gonna be yet, so more to come on that piece. We did budget $3.50, so right now it's looking under budget, but you know, I'm holding my breath on how that whole thing shakes out.
What were we before that?
$1.81. What we were paying. Tonight, there also on the agenda will be motions for off-site storage, which Adrian will present. That information is also in your administrative content. You can see the breakdown between the three different options there. We're going to open the budget to accept grants. So if anyone has any questions about those. Then the budgetary transfers will be on there. There'll be an appointment of the auditor's firm and then depositories for the 22-23 school year, which will say the Pliget, Quakertown National, and the Penn Community Bank. Open items will be the propane bid, which the Ivy did put that out for us. That'll be bid number 22108, and the opening for that will be on June the 9th. At 2 o'clock. We'll have legal fees for the 22-23 year for next month. The food service management agreement is also opening. There's a waiting on the insurance renewal pricing, so we have not received anything for next year yet. I know the cyber policy was something big, and we've been waiting for those prices to come in. And then the other thing that we're going to have to talk about is that divot premium holiday at some point. Other than that, that's my report. Any questions on bills or any financials?
What's the holiday? What's that? Premium holiday, what's that?
That's a premium holiday, so it's something that the board has to sit down with the union members and talk about holiday.
Okay, never mind. I think that's good.
Any other questions? Well, that's it for finance.
That was a lot quicker than we planned for, very concise. We appreciate that. Thank you. We'll be off until 6, I believe, correct?
I did have a question. The off-site storage is not in the executive content here? Oh, okay, never mind. Tracy's getting it. No, it's okay. I mean, I could just wait for the regular meeting and hear about it.
Yeah.
Are we all Adrian?
Hey, it's almost 6, 5:59.
All right, I'm ready.
Everyone's really looking forward to start. All right, it's 6 o'clock. It's like opening day of trout season, right? It's the line starting in the water at 5:55. Everyone's
call this
clocked at
meeting to
6.
order.
Thank you. As we know, policies are an essential component of school governance. I think we took this task on about a year ago, but I think, Tracy, correct me if I'm wrong, we're close to 100 mark in approved policies. And I really appreciate as a committee, we have this down packed now. And for the main policy updates on the second readings, our policies 318, 319, 320, 321, and 322. Those have both went through committee and first reading. They're also published on tonight's agenda. Does anyone have any questions or concerns about moving forward tonight with these policies?
No?
The next group, which was in committee last month, budget planning, budget prep, budget adoption, tobacco and vaping products, personnel files, dressing, grooming, and sick leave. And these, I believe, are also included, Ms. Graham, for public comment agenda. Are looking forward to approve for first reading tonight. Any questions, comments?
Doesn't look like there's many big changes.
Okay, again, a sign of times to come. It was really flowing. It's very efficient tonight. We're moving forward with the committee policies. And those are compensation plans, salary schedules, working period, benefits for part-time employees, jury duty, which we've been hit with a couple employees recently, and paid holidays, and drug and substance abuse. So I'd like to thank Mrs. Graham for putting these together. And when we propose, and Mrs. Hoplet had some, when we present these, we also look in terms of implementation and the procedures and the regulations that go along with them. But these seem to be pretty clear cut, Ms. Graham, and we're asking for discussion to move to first reading next month. I'd like to thank Mr. Gino and as the chair, really letting these through. And we appreciate it, especially with your background in some of these policies with HR. We appreciate it. And we'll come back on for programming. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say we're going to use that full 15 minutes because we got a lot of programming. So we'll see you at 6:15. Well, this goes to show how if it's struck. Okay, at this time, we're going to start the program subcommittee. The three items that we have are the universal design for learning and CTE to support our special populations, summer school, which is also an agenda item tonight, and UBCTS and our Act 158 proposal. So the universal design for learning, we've talked a little bit about this with the CTE folio, which was being able to track hands-on performances. We presented to the faculty meeting, but the working with Mrs. Free, one of our special ed specialists, we want to create and support our close to 40% students with special needs. Amanda Pistoni has been meeting with Mrs. Free and I, and Amanda has a great background in this special program, but also with career tech ed, which is very, very important. She's a former director, her husband's a CTE teacher, and her son is in CTE. What we want to do is we want to tape and provide a kickoff session for all the sending school districts and the case managers. I think we probably have, I'm looking to the staff, around 20 to 25 case managers that help support our students in the building. And we believe that it would be nice so that we get all on the same page with this. And it'll be taped. I also been working very closely with Jamie Lill at the Bucks County Intermediate Unit. They've been doing their own UDL, but again, this is specific to CTE. There's throughout the course of the year, we'll take some volunteers and we're going to go over the 7 different sessions. Engagement, action, special populations, including work-based learning. Because we know that, and I'm looking right at Mr. Young, who's placed a lot of students in work-based learning, including those with special needs. And in the past, a lot of times the goal was to keep students at the tech school until they're 21. Perkins 5 has changed that. Our goal is not to have them in our school passing, but our goal is to begin to get them in employment and supporting them on the workplace, which is a key component. Mr. Young, would you like to say anything close on that? I know you've had students that came in when they're 20, 21, they're with you all day, and you supported them on that workplace and you have a lot of expertise with this.
Yeah, I mean, it's, the system works. We can, the CTE is the perfect fit for a program like this, and it meets a lot of the requirements of special needs, and it's a good fit.
Thank you. And then finally, what happens with staff and professional development, we say one and done, here we go again. So part of the plan, and as Dio, Mrs. Kukas is laughing, is how do we make it like part of our system? So it's not a one and done. What's the sustainability plan? So we're going to also offer 2 years of micro-credentials. John Foster is the president of NOC. So I was on a phone conference with him to say, can we make this a micro-credential through NOC and be the first school in the country to do that? And he said yes. He said, Mike, we're going to explore that, working with CAST. So really super excited about that. And what I like is the video, and they did this in Illinois, because how do we work with our businesses to, and I'm not going to play the whole video, but to get them to understand that they're working with high school students. I don't know how to play the video and the voice.
Don't have to come to this.
Okay. So it's basically universal design for learning. And we want to have the businesses remember that there are students that are 16, potentially through 18. We want them to understand that they need guidance. They need to know exact times, starting times. They need to know very detailed information. And so there's also that part of coaching these local businesses on working with our high school students, which is a key component. And I love this quote, and we've heard it. I know Mrs. Ricino's in the HR, but sometimes you have to say things 10 times, 10 different ways, and it's a great quote, and we all have to remember that. So that's my presentation on the UDL and CTE. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or?
You forgot the last part of that quote though.
I know.
Sometimes you have to say something 10 times, 10 different ways to get them to retain 10% of it.
Thank you.
There's a cost to this program, right?
Yeah, so that's through our ESSERS grant, and our original plan was due to do it this year, but it did not go through, and it will be paid through the ESSERS grant money. And that's, you'll see that on the agenda tonight. Thank you for bringing that up. The next thing, and I believe Mrs. Titus is on, and we'll give her time to speak, but working with the Workforce Development Board, who we have great relationships with, they're sponsoring $19,000 to present the summer camp. The 4 areas are animal vet science, graphic communications, healthcare, law enforcement. We just began to advertise that today. And we have a media blitz, and there's a lot of work behind it. I thank Mrs. Titus, Ms. Cram, and everyone else for putting this together. Mrs. Titus, you just advertised this today. How many people have signed up already?
We had 5 people sign up. So yesterday, what I ended up doing was going back to the 2019 email list that I had from when we did the camp prior. And I took those campers who were in grades 3, 4, and 5, who are now would be in grades 6, 7, and 8. And I sent them an email saying that we were excited that we were going to have a summer camp this year. Your child was here previously and had such a great time. We hope that they will rejoin us again this year. And I sent the flyer out to them that you had just saw, and we had 5 people sign up within a 12-hour period.
And that's because of the quality program, the reputation. It was 100% of parents in the past recommended it. It's a great way to market and recruit our programs. Mrs. Titus, one of the students that was in what program was a graduate of the camp, and that gets students, parents familiar with the upper box and our great, wonderful staff and facilitators that go above and beyond during the summer. So if you want to tell that story real quick.
Yeah, so one of the students that did attend the camp, he is in machining, and he loved it so much coming here. Although he didn't get to see the machining program, he just liked the atmosphere of the school and the facilitators and the teachers that were teaching. So that made him interested in coming here. So And he even said to me this year, he said, if you need any help at the camp, he goes, I would love to help. So we do have, we do have the past students that were campers that are now at our school. And I think tomorrow, Mrs. Nice will be emailing the flyer out to the middle schools and elementary schools, so we can distribute it through there also.
Well, we're doing a lot of outreach, and we would appreciate anyone's help if you know any of those, grades 3 through 8. Please refer them to the camp. Any questions, comments on this program?
No, I was gonna ask how it's being shared with the sending school districts too, because.
Website, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, word of mouth, we'll reach out to the counselors, and through your help, we have a very big outreach. It's like all of our live services. One thing about UBCTS, we have a strong network of people that are very loyal, and the staff is agreeing with that are going to send it, and they just know the reputation that we have. So I don't anticipate a lot of.
And most of the campers coming in younger or older?
It'll be 75 and 75 from grades 3 through 5 that we can connect. So we're encouraging people to register early, and then 75 in grades 5 through 8. And we put this together on a very short time frame. So past COVID, and that was, we thank the Workforce Development Board for rearranging some funds for us to do it. And so there's a lot of trust on that, and we want to make sure that we continue to develop a quality product. Thank you, Mrs. Natitis. And the last thing is, it's sort of a proposal. It's UBCTS and Act 158. So for us, a concentrator is any student that's been with us for 2 years. The state is looking for the graduation requirements in your sending school district. It means that they have to pass the assessments in Algebra 1, literature, and biology, and by 10th grade. And they also set up alternative pathways if students are not successful in those areas. And one of the alternative pathways is career tech ed. And in career tech ed, there's 3 ways that students are able to get that alternative pathway to graduation. Number 1 is industry-based competency certifications. 2, high likelihood of success on improved industry-based competency assessment. And 3, readiness for continued meaningful engagement. So the first thing was industry certification. This act doesn't start until next year for the juniors, but we said, why not help the senior class? So let's see if we can get everyone in the senior class a industry recognized certification. Dr. O'Connell knows at the end of each year, Palisades, Penridge, and Quakertown will say that in their graduation speeches. And Mrs. Nice and I will scramble, let's get those percentages. But I'm happy to state not this year, because all of our seniors, and I'm looking at staff thanking them, have an industry recognized certification. 100% of them do. So again, not waiting for the next class. It shows you the graph over the last 4 years. And so for the last 2 years, we did concentrators. And in 2018-19, you'll see a large number didn't have that. So there could have been some handful, 5 to 10 students that were only here for a year, but you'll see the continued improvement to this year at 100%. Then we have the NOCTI. We have a NOCTI continuous improvement plan. We've been working on that. And so for those students, we'll ask these school districts, please give us a list of students that didn't pass your 3 areas for graduation. And we'll put extra focus on that, even though I'm very confident that we're minus that, we're still going to be able to do that for everyone. And that is. And then finally, there's a 3rd area, readiness for meaningful engagement, a job, a continued education, military. But some of our students with the IEP team, they will minimize their task list to set them up for success. And if they will also kind of track that as an indicator of success. One of the innovative programs, I only got 3 minutes, is in-school youth program, Mary Rashatar. So this year, because again, our strong relationships with industry recognized certification, Bucks County Community College came in and worked with 34 students in the programs that are listed above. And our students, and it's not just one, these students earned 231 national college certificates, which are listed on here, which is amazing. And they were funded by the college. The only problem is now some of the sending schools are saying to Mrs. Rashatar, hey, can you please come to our school? And hopefully there's enough funding available. And super excited. On the May 27th at noon, there's going to be a celebratory graduation here. The students will be awarded. And that's also Mr. Ritter too, besides Mrs. Rashatar. Mrs. Dios, are you involved in the program? Do you want to say anything about it?
This is my second year doing this with Mrs. Rashatar. Actually, technically my third year with the in-school youth program. She's phenomenal, first of all. But my juniors this year actually asked if they said, can we do this year? So they actually wanted to be able to get the certifications. And I'm not certified in CPR because I'm a dental, I mean, I'm certified in CPR, but I'm not certified to teach CPR. And this allows my students to get that certification without us having to pay for it. So.
The radiology certification, would you mind touching upon that too, right? Through the workforce development board?
Yeah, the workforce development offered my students to pay for their, once they pass the test, they will pay them for the testing fee, which is like $270.
So besides being education, we have a strong arm to workforce development. And the students are going to use these skills to go out and be successful. And that's why it's very important that we continue to work with the Workforce Development Board and the Chambers of Commerce, because we wear two hats, education and then also workforce development at a career tech school. So I know a little bit over. Does anyone have questions or comments about this program?
You can go over, there's no executive session, so you're
I
good.
should have went slower.
Yeah. So I had a question, and I think Dr. O'Connell may have to weigh in on this one too. So, and I don't know if you could speak for Quakertown too, but do tech school students not take their keystones then?
No, they take their keystones.
Because this could be, when I was reading Act 158, like, couldn't this take the place of that?
So we have all of our kids, and I'm sure Quakertown does too, have all of their kids initially take the keystone exam. So at Palisades, we'll have them take it one more time. And if they're not successful that second time passing it. There's also a composite way that students is another path to graduation. So advanced or proficient on, I was just reading this presentation. I think it was last week. So there's the Keystone Composite pathway. At least one Keystone score is proficient or advanced. No score is below basic. Composite Keystone score, there's a score or greater. So we do have our kids take the Keystone. If they're not successful, these are additional pathways to graduation.
Graduation, okay.
Yeah.
So when I was reading that, it's not that or this, you still go through the
You
whole,
have you have
Yeah,
additional
okay.
opportunities toward graduation, not just Keystone.
yeah, and I was,
Started.
well, I was just thinking, I was like, boy, that might get all the sending districts off the hook from having to keep their kids doing the Keystones if they
Yeah.
just relied on this pathway, but I guess that's not an avenue.
Still administer.
But they administer, but if they don't pass their keystones
Yeah.
and they pass us as an alternative
They've
pathway,
met
they've
one of the
met the
pathways,
proficiency.
correct.
And I think that's important to know, because I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're gonna have about 40 to 50%. And we haven't had the data on those keystones
Yep.
on students be successful. So that's just another avenue, again, where that career tech ed helps with that. So if they're not academically focused, or they'll be able to come here and get that alternative pathway to graduation.
But I mean, everybody's leaving with some type of industry cert. And plus, many of the classes are taking the NOCD or NIMS, like, it seems like there's multiple things piling on top of each other that would qualify them. So you should super graduate You should leave here with a master's degree. That's the way I see it.
Mr. Spears, something that might help you for Quakertown. I just had a Quakertown junior last week come to me, and I guess she struggled on the Keystones. So her counselor was contacting Mrs. Welding, who's contacting me. What are the odds of her, getting a proficient or a competent or advanced on the NOCP next year? So so Quakertown is looking into some of that.
Great.
That just happened last week. I just haven't had anything from Penridge or Palisades yet, but.
So
So-
next year, and we had this conversation, and what's the percentage of her being successful on these?
I won't bet a paycheck that she'll get advanced, but I'm pretty confident that she will get advanced.
You bet one of Mike's paychecks.
Okay, I'll bet somebody else's, not mine, but yeah, no, I'm pretty confident that if she doesn't get advanced, it's just because she had a bad day.
And I think, because it only has to be competent, but also be sufficient.
That's good.
Any questions on any of that? Would you like me to go back or just take a little breather before the regular JO season start?
Take a little breather.
Questions, comments? Okay. Is everyone sick of Michael Bublé? We can put something else on.
School meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Vance Clements. Here. Mr. Spear.
Here?
Mr. Hallowell.
I'm here.
Mr. Shiliak. Here. Dr. Ott.
Here.
Mr. Shermer.
Here.
Mr. Rice.
Here.
Mr. Wurs. Mr. Cormack. Ms. Rashino.
She's
She's
here somewhere. She's here presently.
Check that. I think that's the one.
This is a family of 8. We got somebody.
I do not think there's an alternate here for Mr. Wertz. His bank's going to checking in to see if he's having technical difficulties.
It's right
So
on
you-
time.
Just sit here.
Here.
Yes, I will. Okay, it's our privilege and honor to recognize 2 students of the month for the month of May.
Sorry about that.
Joseph Shermer, if you could please stand, please. Joseph Shermer is a Penridge High School senior in our small engines technology program and is being recognized as one of our students of the month for May. Joey received the Outstanding Level 3 award in his program and is a cooperative education student employed at CDI Lawn Equipment. Joey competed at the Skills USA State Competition and placed third in Marine Service Technology. His instructor, Mr. Young, is here. If you take a look outside the window, you'll see all the toys with the Small Engine program. Along with Mr. Linden's help, we went from the air, aviation, thank you, Mr. Linden, the marine, and they got a lot of good toys, outdoor power equipment, motorcycle technology. So they really have a full gamut of opportunities to be successful. Mr. Young, Joey's instructor, it's kind of odd. If you would like to comment, would you like me to read your,
Oh, do you have something?
yes, yeah.
Go ahead.
He had the pleasure of teaching Joey for the past 4 years, watching him grow into a fine young man with excellent skills. He's always been a pleasure to work with. He'll be successful in whatever he pursues. He was honored to present you for the Student of the Month. And he's an excellent example of the power of CTE and what that offers students. Joey, one of your mentors, we got a quote too, Dan Iannella, he's the vice president at CDI, wrote, "Joey is a small engine tech in our shop. He's hardworking and always willing to help others." So we know successful CTE is technical, academic, and also those employability skills that Mr. Young mentors and models each day. You've been getting more and more, I don't know if you realize this, but he's getting more and more challenging jobs because he's being able to trust you with that. So all of our students have the opportunity to be entry level and then advance very, very quickly. But what they're finding with our tech school students, they're jumping and really hitting the ground running as Joey is. And then they trust you, which is an important concept. And that's one of the things that we model each month. Trust is a key component. I can't say enough about him as a person. He's always friendly and has a positive attitude. He's a pleasure to work with. And I'm happy to have him as part of our team. So please join me in congratulating Joey. Would you like to say anything?
Thank you for the award. Thank you, Mr. Young. Thank you for all the work that all the administration's done for the school and everything. Julia, thank you.
Congratulations.
Did you finish the green moped I gave you guys earlier in the year?
That's not it.
Oh, that's not it. I was wondering if you guys were cruising around with it in the back parking lot there.
So what's your long-term goal? Is it gonna be staying in the small inside, going to marine, or going to, you can jump into an aviation type mechanic as well?
I like aviation a lot, so maybe aviation or just stay where I am.
But yeah, excellent.
Mr. Linda was very happy about that. He made him happy. As we know, the skills that they learned here at the tech school are transferable. Like Penn State just got a grant for wind turbines and things like that. So not only do you prepare students for current jobs, but jobs of the future. So you have a very bright future ahead of you, and you'll be able to take those skills in whatever area. And it's not the technical skills, but those employability skills too. So
This school taught aviation mechanics at one time.
Yep, I remember.
A lot of people have a job because of that.
as part of my fellowship through ACT, there are some states like Oklahoma, because of Boeing, et cetera, they'll offer that throughout the whole state. So again, going back over and over again, we're also workforce development professionals that are linking everything that we do to careers of the future. So congratulations. And we also have another student of the month, which is no stranger to us, Julia Kemmerer. So Julie is a senior and level 3 student in our auto collision and repair technology. She was recently awarded first place in the state competition, which is unbelievable. And she's going to be advancing to the national competition for Skills USA in Atlanta, Georgia. She's a first honor student and received the Outstanding Level 1 award. She's currently working at Curvan Auto Customs. She's been doing that for 3 years.
Almost 2.5.
2.5, thank you. Not only that, but she's also helping monitor other students in the technical schools. One of our students who's in the HVAC is working in that program, and Julia is helping him become an auto technician, a variety of different skills. She had the opportunity to work on the car of a country artist, Blanco Brown. And I hope I get this right, building a 67 GTO on an 05 GTO drivetrain. She had the opportunity to work on boat restoration and painting projects. So Julia is very valuable. She's being recruited by a lot of different companies. And when she goes out there, the sky's the limit in terms of that. She continues to prepare because in our current program, we'll use, for example, a lot of oil-based.
Waterborne.
Yeah, waterborne. And so we're partnering here with local companies to make sure that she's also going to do very well at the nationals. So it's a lot of people, Mrs. Reese, Mr. Rudden, who's our current instructor, who's not here, Mr. McCarthy, who was a former, we were in the hallway, he said, Mr. McCarthy, any advice? So one of the things about Upper Bucks County Tech School is everyone working together. So Julie, would you like to say something?
I would just like to say thank you to the tech school for giving me this opportunity to learn, and also my cooperative education. And I'm a homeschool student. I'm in Quakertown district, and I'd like to thank Quakertown for the opportunity for me as a homeschool student to go and come to tech school and learn and grow so much. Because if I wasn't able to come here, I don't know where I would be. I've just grown and learned so much from coming here. Just thank you.
We're glad to have you, Julia. And a couple of years ago, there was some discussion about homeschoolers being able to come to tech school, and Julia just was talking to Mrs. Kukas and I, and how much she appreciated that decision from Quakertown. We have some Quakertown board members here to get that opportunity to come and participate. So we thank you for that, and Julia thanks you for that.
And what a great way to represent homeschoolers, huh? I mean, you come in here and you go all the way to the top, right? You're gonna show everybody, if you're coming in, you're going all the way, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Congratulations, great job. Okay, all right, the rest of us, we are gonna go on a quick field trip. So if everybody can stand up, Dr. Herrera is gonna take us on a quick field trip.